Hello, Mr. Eve. Waiting for some more people to join. Hey, everybody. Yeah, awful. I just did a live, and I knew. I hate to say this. Audrii Cunningham was found in the Trinity River, um, and it is an official criminal investigation. Very sad news. Very sad news. I get these spidey senses sometimes, you know. And I'm going to say this. Before I play the video, typically within this time frame is when, without getting too graphic, bodies tend to rise to the surface of a river. I don't know if that's the case, but statistically, that's day 5 or 6. The air expands into the lungs and they rise. So let's see how this went. I just was told or just got notified that she was found. Again, 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham from Livingston, Texas, has been found deceased.
The power of 3D, being able to see a storm in 3D.
So currently they are flying over. There was some footage that was like 8 minutes long that I'd like to pull up. But they, yeah, I see it in the chat, press conference at 4. It's very, very sad. I'm just so heartbroken for her and her family. We will be streaming that press conference. But I had a feeling that this was going to be the end result, and I hate that. I wish that this didn't happen. I do not care about California right now. No offense to Cali. So very, very, very sad. Audrey, precious little one, in the arms of Jesus, rest well. Amen, Bugsy. I just hate it. Let's see if this is the one.
Have you cut the cord and
Yeah, I agree. McGee Outlaw. I felt the outcome. I just hoped it wasn't true. I'm glad they found her. She could be laid to rest and hopefully justice will be served. Agreed. So it looks like, is that the same boat dock area as the dam, I wonder? It looks like the same place they took Steve McDougal, but you know, I don't know. I don't know anything yet. Even chat, hello friends, my heart is completely broken for this little girl. Agreed. Me too. I am just It's very sad, very depressing. I'm glad she was found. I was hoping that if any time, it would be right now and within at least the next few days to a week, because depending on weather situations and Texas weather is wild for starters. And the more time passes, obviously, it's harder to find. But this is about the crucial time, like I said before, where you would find someone if they were in the river. This would be about that time where they rise to the surface. So either way, I'm glad they found her and that justice can be pursued for her. And this is a criminal investigation. They have the chopper over the railroad track and highway bridge. Is that where the boat dock ramp is? It looks like it. Yep. Oh, just awful. It did have a weird winter, that is for sure. Eliza, she had a better chance of justice being served now that she's been found. Absolutely. And that she could be, yes. And there is no words to give to the family. But I will say it must be less, there's no words. At least there will be something that some kind of answer, or that, the next step into this case, albeit it doesn't really matter. It's devastating. This is very sad. Very sad. Mm-hmm. Is it for Eastern or for Central? Because it's 3:40 Central right now. So 5 Central, you mean? Is it Highway 59? It's that boat ramp over there. Yeah, like I thought. I think, weren't they there with, I'm almost positive they were there with Stephen Dougal. Mm-mm-mm. Just no words. There's just no words for things like this. I know that there's some news. They're going live on Twitter, and I usually play those things, but I would rather just listen to the presser and kind of look at the live footage for now. Very thankful for the law enforcement officers who worked really hard on this. Texas doesn't play. Ever. Texas will always be. Texas typically has the best turnaround for missing children. Not the best, but because they have the Rangers and they have a lot of resources available, and their tenacity. That's just how it's always been. They don't always get it right, but I am very proud of my state. They do not give up. They don't. Texas is legit when it comes to anyone, the Amber Alerts in Texas, I am very proud of. I'm very proud that they are not afraid to release if there's a what if, maybe, they make their better judgment as to go ahead and release an Amber Alert, Now, this is the Trinity River. This comes up into where I'm at in Fort Worth. And so, I mean, it's a pretty long river. I know that a few people, I have never, but a few people have floated the Trinity River up here and down in South Texas, and it's a very, I don't like the Trinity River. It's kind of nasty, as you can see. It's a very dirty river, like mud and all that stuff. Uh, I I have heard of people who have contracted things like bacterial in this river, so I don't go into the Trinity River, but um, that's just me. Oh man, so let's go to Twitter until the press conference here in about 15 minutes. It is very muddy all the time. It's got a pretty steady flow, and when that dam releases, boy, you know it. Um, it tends to flood. The Trinity River tends to flood quite frequently throughout the year, unless there's a drought or something, but it's a pretty active one. Again, not my favorite river. Mr. Eve, have you ever floated the Trinity River? I don't, we definitely have it because I wouldn't, but I've always wondered. Mr. Eve says, thank you everyone for being here. This is a terrible tragedy and a reason for my wife to continue to fight and cover cases for missing children. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know how, and thank you, Mr. Eve. I don't know how they could have seen anything in that water. That's exactly why I was saying, without being too detailed in that, I hope they find her today or tomorrow, because it's, the chances are going down more and more now, within the next 48 hours. So thank you, Bugsy. Are there gators? Yes. Yes, there are gators. I'm almost positive. I have a family who live in Texas. Nice. The great state of Texas. Sounds like the Arkansas River in Kansas. It's nasty. A lot of suction holes in it. Yeah. I've seen it. I've driven past it, but I've never actually stopped and looked at the river. Hey, Earth. Good to see you. We have whirlpools in the river here. Which river is that? Unless you don't want to say, it's okay. But wow. Do we have whirlpools in, not the Trinity, that's for sure, but the Brazos River can be a little squirrely. For sure. I've probably beat myself up on the Brazos River a few times. However, I was drinking on a on a float, as we do here in Texas, and hope for the best. I think I've already looked at this one. Oh, Audrii Cunningham disappearance, person of interest captured. Let's watch this. I have not seen the full footage of this while we wait for the press conference. They might start early, so if anybody sees it, I love Sassy Pants Eve. Oh, I'm sure it'll creep back up anytime, especially when the anger face sets in on this. I'm sure. Like right now, I just want to
Meet the traveling trio. The thrill seeker.
strangle him. Or whoever did this to that poor, sweet, innocent girl. Hey, Mr. Eve, my cards. Well, you know that the cards came in yesterday, but the new cards should be here today, and I'm so excited. 2 Oracle decks. And the one that I got today, when I did my little spooky dooky stuff, it was the river. It sure was. All right, let's listen. Boy, I tell you, I really hate these news web pages. They're riddled with just bugs and ads, and it just makes me crazy. It's very sensitive. Another ad. Jesus. Tracking is pretty sassy, that's for sure. I like my sassy ladies in the chat. Mr. Eve can get sassy too, don't you? Don't think. But in the nicest way. But in like a fuck about and find around kind of way. Stern and firm, but nice. Ooh, he looks meth out in this. Look at him. I don't know nothing. Oh my God. Lord help me with these news web pages. I'm going to write my congressman. That's what I'm going to do. Ban this platform that they use for their websites because it sucks. I'm tired of it. Just play the video. I could embed it into my Streamlabs, but I'm not going to do it. It takes too damn long. Just play the freaking video. Because I haven't seen it. I think they use Twitter more than they use Facebook because you can't find stuff like this always on Facebook. I think it's more user friendly. It's so sad. So when is the press con? Like who's, I guess the sheriff, the Polk County sheriff is hosting it. Let's look. Is he the neighbor? So Stephen McDougal lived on the property. So he lived in the either trailer or RV on the property. Oh, not that Polk County. And we love Grady Judd. We do. We love him, but not today. We're not going to watch him today. Maybe next time. They haven't said anything yet. Not yet. I'm going to follow them. Yep, nothing so far. Hey, Widow, good to see you. No sound. Oh, no. I'm so sick of this life. The evil runs this world, taking all the beauty. I agree. Awful. See what KLTV, my favorite, has to say. See how simple this is? Take note, other media outlets. This is simple, nice, and sweet. No crazy advertisements. User friendly. More views. And you have to enable the sound so that the advertisements don't blast your ear off. This is how it should be right here. Thank you, KRTKTLV. Appreciate you. Idaho, KTVB, take note.
After loss. KBJR's Rob Cole shares their unexpected journey that brought.
Yeah. Southeast Texas region said a press conference will be held at 4 on North Washington Avenue in Livingston. The Post said the presser will provide significant updates on the search for Audrii Cunningham, 11, who was reported missing. All right. Southeast Texas region, Texas DPS. That's who did the conference yesterday. That makes sense. Duh, Eve. Who needed to be a news reporter? I've done lose my job for being sassy on the telly. They'd have to fire me. I love Grady too. Oh, there's Ickenmel. Of course he's covering it. I think they're getting ready right there. Oh, so sad. This poor girl, you are right. I really, really hope that they find who, I'm sure they already have who did it. But I really hope that they don't have to string this along. There it is. We'll just broadcast it until it starts. I hope everyone is having an okay day, even with the news. You just wait. But seriously, I could not be a journalist. First of all, I'm too country sounding. I'd put everybody to sleep. Not good for views. And I'd pop off on somebody trying to get sassy with me. If somebody tried to come up behind me and do that shit that they pull, like these teens or some asshole comes and tries to put their peace sign behind my head and make me look like I have bunny ears, I probably would be in jail. I don't put up with that shit. So that's just me. I know I feel everything like 10 times more than the average, right? I would get fired quick. There was a lady, oh God, what was it? She was covering the news and it was about like weed. And she was very pro advocacy for weed. And she just lost it on the air and she was like, I'm done. This is ridiculous. I guess she felt some kind of way about what she was covering and she quit on the spot and became like the biggest advocate in the area for marijuana. Like she just went all out. She said, I'm done. And that's probably something, that I would do on a different level. But she had it. Some people just can't fake it like that. Some people just have to be their authentic selves. And I don't see how newscasters can do it all the time and keep a straight face. I would fail. You, Mr. Eve, you hush. You would watch me? Well, I'm glad. Maybe I should start a network. Evening news, done it. Oh, where's my Dinesh? I know it's not a laughing matter right now, but we gotta get it where we can, right? Wake up. Yeah, very, very sad. Who could sleep with such great need-to-know info you bring? Not me. Are we waiting on press conference to start? Yeah, we are waiting right now. They are getting set up as we speak. It is very bare right now. Like, nobody wants to do these press conferences. Can you imagine having to get ready to tell the world what just happened, what you just found? Because they were on scene. They had to have been at least, or debriefed. I couldn't imagine having to be in that position. Should be starting though soon. Looks like everything's good to go. So it'll be Sheriff Byron Lyons and District Attorney Shelley Sinton to provide updates. I pray they have enough to convict the person who did this since water was Well, when we heard about the backpack being found and it was wet, I immediately thought that it was washed up or something may have brought it out. I don't know. But it was wet, so it made me think it had to have been the river or raining. So I looked at the weather and it didn't seem to have had any rain over there. So it really made me fearful for her. Hello, hello, Miss Rubug. You know what's really bad right now? Mountain cedar. All right, here we go, everybody.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. I want to first start by thanking the media for helping us with the coverage over Audrey, over her missing. Your help has been immensely appreciated. It has been great. I want to thank again everyone who has been engaged in the efforts to find Audrey, from the investigators to the volunteers who have spent countless hours in hopes of finding her, and to the community members who have been here supporting us since day one. I also want to say thank you to Trinity River Authority for lowering the water levels so that the divers could reach areas of interest. At this time, I sadly announced that Audrey's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrey, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert. The information that we have gathered in this criminal investigation is substantial. The Polk County Sheriff's Office investigators, the Livingston Police Department, and the Texas Rangers, the game wardens, the FBI, Harris County Sheriff's Office, the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office in Trinity County and Liberty County. It's just an outpouring of love from all of our law enforcement partners. My heart aches with this news, and I express with my deepest sympathies and condolences to everyone who knew, who cared for, and loved Audrey. The Sheriff's Office, we will continue to process the evidence that has been gathered to ensure that the justice for Audrey. And at this time, I will turn the podium over to the Polk County District Attorney, Ms. Shelley Sinton.
All right, District Attorney.
Thank you, Byron. My name is Shelley Sitton, and I am your Polk County District Attorney. I just want to take a few moments to explain how we're going to move forward from here. Based on all of the evidence that law enforcement has collected, they are in the process of preparing the appropriate arrest warrants for Don Stephen McDougal. At this time, we believe the appropriate arrest warrant is going to be for capital murder in the death of Audrii Cunningham. He is currently still in jail under an unrelated felony charge here. I understand that this is a very difficult time for Audrey's family and for our community. The substantial law enforcement resources that were marshaled by the Sheriff Lyons, I think, should show you that this county and law enforcement, they will come out when they need to protect our children. And the assets that we have been made available to Polk County to protect our children have been substantial. And at this point, as Sheriff Lyons said, he'll continue to collect the evidence and process that. The District Attorney's Office is going to stand right beside them and follow through, and we promise that you can assure that the District Attorney's Office will be just as dedicated to this case as every one of these law enforcement officers that are standing behind you to do what is right for Audrey and bring justice to our community. Thank you. At this time, if you've got some questions, we'll open it up to a few questions.
Any indication of how Audrey was feeling?
I cannot speak to that.
At this time right now, we have transported Audrey down to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. At that time, we will await their results to be able to determine the cause and method of her death.
The evidence suggests murder.
We believe that there is enough evidence, yes.
Yes.
Did Don Stephen McDougal lead you to that location on the river where you found her body? Did he tell you where to find her?
That was evidence that we was collecting through the cell phone analysis,
Mm-hmm.
as well as through our videos that we were able to collect, and some of the information that we received from him, we were able to pinpoint and set. There were several points of interest that was turned over to us, so that we were able to develop. And thank goodness, and thank by the grace of God, one of those places of interest we were able to locate.
As I understand it,
Evidence, and right now, folks, when we start talking about how we linking evidence to McDougal and linking evidence to this case, we want to be very careful on how we do that. I would feel safe to say this is that there is substantial evidence through the evidence that we've gathered, and some of that evidence was even gathered by the wonderful witnesses and wonderful folks out there in the social media who sent us videos, who sent us pictures. Some of that, even that evidence helped us to be able to come up with these locations, as well as the evidence from cell phones and as videos to pinpoint these locations. At this point right now, until we get all our information back from the medical examiner's office, we don't want to release any information concerning Audrii and condition of her body. That area is one of the first areas of our concern points of interest when we started our search on Friday, or midday Friday, and again, that's going to be developed from some of the evidence, and then yes, there was some points where he did give information, because there were several places that he said that he had went. So it wasn't a location where he said he took her, but there was a incidents where he said these were locations where he had gone.
Without this evidence that you talk about, would you have been able to find her where you found her? Without the evidence that you just described?
Yes.
You would have found her there?
We would have found her not through him, but we would have found it through the evidence that we collected from
Geofencing data.
from phones and videos would have. Yes.
Yeah.
To the naked
No.
eye?
you used a sonar boat. Texas Tech was
She was in the river.
sonar boat scanning the bottom of the river for her body. They are the ones that discovered the body. Is that correct?
No.
The image.
I'm not going to say who exactly or what agency discovered her body today. I will say this, that due to the lowering, we were able to contact TRA, Trinity River Authority. They slowed down the outflow from the reservoir,
Mm-hmm.
and it allowed the water to go down, and her body was discovered there in the water. But I'm not going to say whether it was Harris County.
It was mathematical. I will tell you that it had to have been, because, like I was saying and trying to not get too graphic earlier, in my last live, they better find her today, because they slowed down. I didn't say this, but I knew about it. I've been hearing on the dispatch, so we'll get into that in a minute.
Or Montgomery County or Equus.
But it was very methodical. Like, it was calculated to slow the river down, hold back that reservoir, and calculate, how fast the river was flowing, and find her that way. And they did amazing.
Search. It was a conglomeration of a lot of love and law enforcement networking together that helped discover her.
Sources have told us, though, that Stephen McDougal was the one that told you to lower the level of the river. We've been told that he actually told you.
She was there or any other location, but we know that he went there as well.
Shelley, Sheriff, is there something wrong? Will you be seeking the death penalty?
Until we get all of the evidence and all the autopsy reports, we're going to have to hold and work with law enforcement to determine what is the best solution to this case. If the evidence supports that, that is something that we're going to look into.
Is there any evidence she was held somewhere else, or was she killed pretty much the day that she disappeared?
We do not have any evidence at this time that's showing that where she may have been held somewhere else. But again, we are still processing mounds and mounds of information and data.
It will come out.
Last question.
Is there any evidence that there was anything used to keep the body underwater?
That is information at this time that we do not want to release.
Not okay to ask.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for all that you've done for us to help bringing Audrii home.
He got a snazzy little vest on, didn't he? We know how to dress in Texas. In the South, we go a little extra, but that's it. The information will come out. They will circle back on those details that everybody wants to know because, for the most part, Texas is pretty transparent. When you harm a child, they know that people are going to ask anyway, and they'll get to that. But right now, it's to protect the investigation details so that Mr. McDougal can't get a heads up. We don't want him to know anything that they know so that he could try to weasel his way out of these charges. Is this close? It's about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, maybe, 4 hours away from me. Very scary. I'm not familiar with Lake Livingston, but it's kind of north. What is it? An hour north of Houston? Lubbock? 30 minutes from Lubbock, something like that. I've driven past it, but either way, this is just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. And I hope the guy gets everything that is coming to him. Now, let's look at penal code for capital murder. You know me. What do we do in Texas for those who are charged with capital murder? Section 19.03. Let's get into it. All right. A person commits an offense of capital murder as defined under Section 1902B1, which is intentionally or knowingly causes the death of an individual. Okay? That's B1, which is murder. And 1, the person murders a peace officer, which is not this case. The person intentionally commits the murder in the course of committing or attempting to commit kidnapping, burglary, robbery, aggravated SA, arson, obstruction, or retaliation. So it might be number 2. We'll have to look at the charges. The person commits the murder for promise of, nope, that's not it, for employees. No. Nope. Not while attempting to escape. This is while incarcerated. This doesn't apply. That doesn't apply for life sentences. The person murders more than one person. That doesn't apply, to our knowledge anyway. The person murders an individual under 10 years of age. She is 11. The person murders an individual 10 years of age or older, but younger than 15 years of age. So this would apply. So it might be 9. It would definitely be 9, but there could be more. An offense under this section is a capital felony. If the jury or, when authorized by law, the judge does not find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of an offense under this section, he may be convicted of murder or of any other lesser included offense. So in Texas, we go ahead and just put that capital murder charge on you, right? Even if maybe, just maybe, it just goes down to a murder charge or a lesser offense. And then, if warranted, we'll seek the death penalty on you. It's an automatic in Texas that you're eligible. There are certain exceptions to this, but depending on the circumstances, 90% of the time, you may get the death penalty put on your ass, right? That's just how we roll here. So, for purposes of subsection A1, which is this one, that's for a peace officer, so that doesn't count. That's not relevant. So, death penalty. Death penalty eligible. especially when you harm a child, for sure. Yeah, kidnapping may apply. Right. Either way, capital murder. Death penalty is more than likely on the table. I hope it is. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will talk to you in there. Guys, yeah. Right now, we're not going to get the full, details of this. We shouldn't until it is time for that. But I'm just kind of bitter. It's bittersweet, right? A little bit that she's found. And I will keep you updated on this. I'm going to be covering the trial. I might even go there because it's more than likely going to be in Polk County. So I hope that they act quickly and swiftly on this and get all of the get the charge brought very, very quickly. And my heart breaks for the family, and we need to pray for them and send all of our thoughts, whatever you want, to them because they're going to need it. Thank you for being here with me and watching the press conference. Justice for Audrii Cunningham. Rest in peace, baby girl.